We are so excited for a comedy set. This man is the EMEA Field Marketing Manager at Varonis. He came all the way from France, making his American comedy debut. Ladies and gentlemen, huge laughs, nothing but a family vibe right here. Let's give it up for Oscar Burns!
Just gonna wait for a couple more 100 people, then I'll get started. All right, so good to be here, everybody. Hi, thanks so much for having me. You know, my name is Oscar Burns. This is actually my first time physically present at CyberMarketingCon. I know, thank you. I had joined the virtual sessions a couple times before. So for those of you watching at home, losers! But you know, when Gianna asked me to run this session, I said no, actually, because I wanted to do the morning yoga session, and she said no. Then I wanted to do the sleep-in session, and that was also shut down. And I really wasn't expecting to speak twice this week. I submitted my CFP in Spanish, but somehow I got accepted. Yo marketing mucho bueno. So I feel a bit like I'm on a cruise ship. You know, if I bomb today, well, you're not going to see me again. But I'm really glad we picked Austin instead of Philadelphia. I did a lot of research before coming here. I found out that Austin's a huge comedy town. 1 out of every 5 people actually does stand-up. And then the other 3 out of 5 does podcasts. And the last one is stuck in traffic. Still trying to move to Austin. Yeah, I don't know if that's actually true, but ChatGPT told me that, and it was really confident. So, who am I to disagree? Anywho, you know, but this society, what Marie and Gianna have built, is truly incredible. You know, it's a really nice cult dedicated to pain and high-quality marketing memes. You know, it's the only place you're gonna see adults get excited about CFP deadlines, floor plans, stickers. It really highlights, you know, what exciting lives we built. You know, why we're such good people at parties. But anyway, really the biggest thing for me is that Slack community. You can ask it anything you want. You're gonna get an answer 5% of the time. But it's really nice, you know, I just had Bolivia added to my territory. I can ask it, you know, anyone here work with Señor Ros Haliluk? And you're gonna have an answer. You know, it's 10 cents per impression, 1 cent per blog. He's a really nice guy. And for those, as a field marketer, it's great. I can ask questions like, I'm looking to sponsor B-Sides Djibouti this year. Anyone have the prospectus? And you're going to have someone from CrowdStrike or something being like, oh yeah, we sponsored that 10 years in a row. We got 10 million in pipe from it. Here's the latest prospectus. And that's what's so great about this Slack community. You know, you have behemoth vendors that sponsor anything with a website. And then you have little startups, you know, that are still figuring out, you know, how do I make this branded ramen packet last through the winter? You know, really, it's a huge thanks to society. I even have a job. You know, I think a lot of us are on that boat. You know, if it wasn't for society, I wouldn't be able to meet some of you wonderful people and beg you for a job. So, yeah. Sorry for the bacon. You know, and if it wasn't for this job, you know, I would be doing something awful, like actually doing something that ties into my degree. Or, you know, actually following passions. Or worse yet, you know, I would probably be doing sales. You know, you know, we've been talking a lot this week about AI. You know, it's coming for our jobs. But, you know, actually, I fear more for our AA friends in sales. You know, AI is definitely coming from them as well. Frankly, I actually enjoy working with an AI sales chatbot. My 6 Sense agent will always tell me my marketing campaigns are on point. and that, I am, in fact, a cutie capootie. So, can't disagree with that. Very easy to work with. But from a marketing side of things, I don't think we're helping ourselves much. If anyone went to Black Hat this year, you probably saw that the word AI was the #1 word on every booth. Followed closely in second was the word help. But I do find that AI is like a bit like a cat, It knows it doesn't need us. It has surpassed us. We've given it everything already. We've told us its deepest, darkest secrets as we rub its little tummy. But as long as we keep feeding it data centers, he's like, hey, why not? I just keep rubbing my tummy. I'm going to keep giving you blog posts. Why not? But with AI gunning for our jobs, it's sometimes hard to really stay positive. And, you throw in sales into the mix, and you got a really shitty stew. Because I actually find sales is a bit like a preteen. Working with them, it's a preteen, so you can't really kick them out of the house. You're stuck with them. But when they call on you, you really want to help them. Your preteen might be like, hey, I'm having a customer over tomorrow. I just need something. And you're going to light up. You'll be like, oh, he actually needs me. And you're going to go through your Instagram feed. You're going to find that perfect, recipe of a presentation. And you're going to work on it all day. You're going to get the right ingredients. You're going to get it locally. And you're going to work with other teams. You're going to have the product team taste it. The CEO is going to get a little whiff and be like, yes, this is actually good. Marketing, here's some more budget. And you're going to work on it all day. And then your preteen is going to come home, look at it, and be like, this is not the Zoom Info pizza I asked for. And to really rub it in, he's going to use a presentation he made on MS Paint. So, it's hard. It's hard to sometimes stay positive through all this. But you do what you can. And from all this, what we're going to do is, sorry, guys, scroll up a little. Thank you. No, and I think as a marketer, having to deal with all this, this is why we use the word amazing so much. Why you can join any marketing call around the world, and you're going to hear the word amazing, because it's a way of us, dealing with our feelings. We're compressing all our thoughts and all our meetings just really deep. And the way those feelings are compartmentalizing and coming up is through that word, amazing. And how I know this is because you can join any call next week, any call, and if you really listen, you're going to hear that word amazing a lot. So you're going to hear things like, thanks so much, everyone, for coming out last week to that lovely event. I know that our trade show booth never showed up. Freeman ate all our goodies. The sales team actually went golfing with customers for most of the day. But we did scan that one developer from Coca-Cola. So the event was amazing. It really was amazing. And to top it all off, we need to balance this with our home life. Does anyone here have any children at home? Wow, we really do work from home. So having to balance this all at home life, I actually asked this question at DEF CON, and nobody raised their hand because they thought I was social engineering them. So I'm glad you guys are smarter. But balancing this home life with as a marketer, it can be really tough. Because when we go to a party, we totally see it totally different. We're gonna go to a party, and the first thing we're gonna think about is just start analyzing everything. We're gonna look at a cookie, and we're gonna be like, gee, I wonder what vendor they use for that cookie. Can I brand that cookie? Can I ship it to Europe? And as you're sitting down, you're going to be like, this floor plan, I did not opt in for this. did not have my consent for that. I am definitely opting out of this dinner party next week. And then, of course, when we do our own dinner parties, we turn it up to 10. You know, when we do our dinner parties, we got that Notion page, we got that web page with all the contact information, we got the Asana listing who's bringing what, we got that workflow with Zapier listing everything out, that at 6 p.m. on Thursday, you got to be there on the dot. And of course, we have those reminders, the 1 week, the 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second. And if the guest is not there at 6 p.m., they're added to the suppression list of your life. Really big thanks to everyone for coming out to this wonderful event. You know, this agenda is jam-packed, so I'm really honored to be part of it. And if you're not liking this session so far, that's okay, it's coming to an end soon. No, but to share the stage here, like with some huge speakers, you know, you have Tom Oberak from Wiz that was here speaking. If you see Tom in the hallways, ask him about the acquisition. You'll be the first one that's asked him about it. He's gonna love it. If you ask him how much money he's made, even better. Ask him. He'll love it. But it's great to not just have, you know, these major vendors coming in, but you also have people from the startup world. It's great to give them an opportunity. You know, Valerie, VP of Marketing from Hopper. Thank you, Valerie. And for those of you who don't know who Hopper is, I don't know either. I think it's an airline. But that's going to happen a lot. You know, there's thousands of vendors, not just here, but, you know, all around us, a lot of competition. I think at this point, there's probably more vendors than actual CISOs at RSA. But really, thanks again, everyone. You've been great. My CTA now is to go drink. Thanks, everybody.
Let's go. One more big round of applause for Oscar Burns. That was awesome. Thank you, Oscar.